Hi, welcome back to NeuroSplendor. I'm going to be doing a three-part series. The first part is going to be telling you about the problem we had, what we had done, what happened after. The second part is going to be the data that we used to figure out what was actually wrong with the engine. And then the third part, I will go over the data and explain to you how we figured out where to look, what the problem was actually being caused by. So this is an ISX871 engine. It came in a truck. It was building air fine. We pulled the engine out, tore it all down. We had the head rebuilt. We had the valve guide shimmed and honed to spec. The head was cleaned and assembled with new valve guide seals. We put in all Cummins parts, liners, pistons, rings, rebuilt rods, cylinder kits. We assembled the engine. We put on a Recon turbo. We installed 6 Cummins injectors. The Recon turbo is a Cummins rebuilt turbo reman. We put on a Cummins VGT actuator on the turbo. And when we got done, we always put the engine in a stationary regen. And when it came out of the stationary regen, when it was done, it started logging fault codes for excessive crankcase pressure up in the 25 to 28 inches of mercury range, which is pretty much a disaster if you just rebuild an engine. We should have under 1 inch, and we're up at 20 some inches at idle. If we put the engine in a regen, the numbers come down to about 4 to 11, but when we take it out of the regen, they skyrocket. The crankcase filter has a lifetime element with no paper in it, so there's no restriction there. All the hoses are open. There's a new pressure sensor in the crankcase pressure housing, and we do have huffing out of the pipe, so we know that there is actually a problem. So this has been part 1. I want you to put your thinking caps on and see if you can figure out what it is. Now, we did replace the air compressor when this started because we thought maybe that was the problem, and it was not. It didn't make any difference at all. So, part 2, I'm going to put up the data that we gleaned when we did some tests, and I'll let you look at that and see if you can figure out what it was that caused the problem. We figured it out today. And then part 3, I will go over the data and show you how we figured out what the problem is. See you next time on NeuroSplendor.